everybody, I hope that you're all doing well. What I was seeing in the pre-shuffle looked like there's some type of situation that's unfolding right now where what normally feels like relatively stable or relatively unchanging, it feels like is going through some type of transition right now. So this can be something like a big relationship shift that's happening. Whatever it is that's keeping the energy stuck where things aren't evolving, now can be the time when stuff is being done that will allow things to move forward in a way that it hadn't been before. So you can even be looking at something and saying, hey, this is dysfunctional, or I don't want to remain within this energy anymore. I want to do something about this, or I want to move these pieces around over here, even though they've been here for a while. It just reminds me of like moving furniture around or like transitioning to a different like living space for some of you. There's something going on here that feels like a big dynamic shift that is happening. We're starting off with the Lovers. So Lovers speak about all different types of relationships and also the things that we care about and the choices that we make. Seeing King of Pentacles, seeing the Devil coming out, seeing Six of Cups, seeing Four of Cups. Okay. Yeah, there can be something here about being very, very tied to something, very, very stuck to something, and this can be something that's been actually for quite some time. When we have Devil and we have Six of Cups, I see this as having some type of attachment to what we are familiar with, to the point where we can actually be like not very happy about things, but still holding on anyway, like refusing to let go. And so no changes are happening, evolving is not happening. And instead of being like, I'm holding on to this and I actually feel very happy with things, it's like, you're feeling like this. You see this person over here feeling like that, but still doing the same thing. And it can be something that you don't want to be within this energy anymore. You know, like if something really were in alignment and it really were all it's cracked up to be, you wouldn't be feeling like this, would you? So this can be about breaking out of those patterns. Some of you too, maybe you have something returning and this is about recognizing what that was. And with the Devil too, if you're being unrealistic with something here. So it can be either continuously holding on to something out of familiarity and even nostalgia, even though that's not the reality of the situation, or it can be possibly entertaining something from the past. When we have the Devil involved, it can be something that we think it is other than what it actually is. And if we were to take a closer look, that is something that would be recognized there. I do feel like the Devil is holding on to something because we are, in this case, because we are familiar, because it is something that we know, because it is something that we feel comfortable with, even if we are no longer thriving. For those of you that you stepped out of this situation, it can be something returning where you're going to have to reject it again. I'm seeing Gemini and I'm seeing Capricorn here. Yeah, some of you, I'm seeing somebody come back through again, but this may be something you don't want to do. I'm seeing somebody wanting to connect with you here. So this is somebody saying, hey, I think that we should get together, or can we make up, or I want to connect with you again. I'm seeing Four of Cups. This is saying that your immediate feeling about this, get this, this is saying that your immediate feeling about this would be that it's not resonating with you. You're meant to be paying attention to this. Because I feel like somebody's coming around. You know this person, you know what the history is with this person. Having that Four of Cups there is saying, especially coming after Six of Cups, it's saying don't be looking at this through rose-colored lenses here, and then you forget about whatever it is that the devil is connected with. Feels like making sure that this is not something that you're just glossing over here because you're feeling like you're missing something, without remembering the cycle where the devil is connected. So this is saying that if something is coming around here and attempting to connect with you, pay attention to the way that you feel about it. There may be a part of you that's like, like I'm remembering those good times with the Six of Cups, but I feel with the devil there, like it may be something where if you look more closely at this, it's going to be more layered than that. Because with the devil and the Six of Cups, it can be like feeling very, very sentimental, nostalgic about something. And if today you were put back in that situation, it actually wouldn't feel like that. The devil and Six of Cups can be this, like, I want to kind of synthetically, like, recreate this feeling of connection and emotional reciprocity. But this is a way that is, like, artificially attempting to create that. And you're not really going to get the true essence of what it is that you're looking for. To recognize that when we have the devil, it can be difficult to see through that. It can be difficult to see past that. And this is where you're going to have to trust yourself, and you're going to have to trust your instinct here. But if you're not on the same page with yourself, this can be something that you fall for in this moment. And you do have the choice. If you are truly in tune with yourself here, this message is going to be clear to you. If you're not totally there with yourself, this can be something that you buy into only to realize this exact thing that you could realize now and not have to go through this. But also too, it's not like, sometimes we do need to go through things to realize stuff that we have not realized yet, and that's okay. Isn't that the point of the experiences that we have? I'm hearing early. I feel as well like you've gotten to a point where you've developed some type of standard now. Or at least are aware of it in a way that maybe you hadn't been before. I'm seeing you be actually very clear on what you want. I feel like something here is presenting itself, or it has been presenting itself similarly to that, where if you're not taking a closer look, you may be like, maybe this is what I want, only to find out that that's not actually the case. This is time to really be seeing through this and to not buy into some illusion just because it's convenient with the devil. Because this means that this is something that can really play on your water energy, which can be connected to a very fantastical, magical place within you. And then the reality is not going to match what's going on there. So this actually feels like more on a psychological and emotional level, that's how this sort of like squeezes its way in. And there's a need for you to see through that here, even though there can be this part of you that would rather go for something convenient here because you're like, maybe it'll be like close enough. And then you're going to find out that it's not with the devil. I feel as well like you're in a position where what you have to offer is of a high quality with the King of Pentacles. I feel with the devil and the King of Cups that when you get connected with things, whether you're happy with it or not, you can have a hard time separating yourself at times, which many of us can. It's something that a lot of us experience. And it can be difficult to keep your perspective. I feel like now is a time where there's a reminder of how important this is for you, that you are going to feel like something is joyful, like something is very much enough, like everything is sustainable physically, emotionally, when you are in that right balance, and it feels like something is going on that's tempting you to step out of that. And so you can be deciding now, you can be deciding today, this is not something that I want to remain trapped within or that I want to invite back into my life. For some of you, like initially I was getting this feeling like this could be an attempt to like start a new chapter, but I'm also not seeing any aces here. And so I'm wondering for some of you, if this is something potentially that's been ongoing. For some of you, it can be a return for sure. For others of you, this can be a situation actually that you've been within. It's a partnership of some sort. And for many of you, it can be a person. It doesn't always have to be a person. It can just be something that regularly you have a relationship with. And that doesn't mean that you don't care about what this is if you are to move on from it, if you are to move forward. It can mean that it's like bringing a type of chaos or a lack of stability in your life in a way that you don't want. You can feel like it's not sustainable. So there can be this part of yourself that you're working with where there's an attachment here to something that you're not actually even thriving within. And to take a closer look at that. Why are you staying connected to something like that? Where is that coming from? What is that motivated by? So it can be a time actually where you reconcile with this energy to be able to move through it rather than staying stuck within it. Because I feel the way that the devil and the King of Cups is feeling to me is like when somebody's in the ocean in a boat and there's this this like thing going around. It's like circling the drain here, and it's like the boat can't get out of that, and it's just going around and around and around and around, and it feels like that's what the devil and the King of Cups is. It's just the same thing around and around and around again. And there's that's just what it's gonna be until you're like being pulled all the way under that, or you can move yourself out of it. But if you remain, only if you're going to move past this, are you going to be able to get out of that cycle. It feels like if you want to stay in this location dealing with this thing, it's just going to be that whirlpool energy. If you're ready to move to the next location, like move on with the storyline, move forward with the storyline, that's how you're going to get out of that. But it feels like there's no way that you can remain and have it not be that whirlpool. That's just what it is in this. And that is the lesson at the end of the day. That's what all of this is about. And it's not even a lesson for it to be a lesson. It's like that's just karmically, energetically how these things work. That's how the law works. That's it. So it's not like you're here and you're going to learn this lesson. It's more so like this is just understanding the lesson of the laws of energy, and that's how a situation like this works. That's it. And so even though with the Four of Cups and the Six of Swords over here, you can be like, I don't want to separate, like I'm feeling like all of these feelings coming up, thinking about the past, and like I don't want to let go of this. There are these feelings here of like I don't want to separate myself from that. I'm so familiar with it. It's all I've known. And so this can be saying, I don't want to move on from it. I don't want to move forward. Don't want to move forward from the whirlpool. So I feel like if you were to not be in the middle of this and you were to look from the outside looking in, you'd be like, what am I doing? Why is this happening? Like it just feels like losing all perspective. And in this moment of tuning in this moment of checking in totally and fully, you're realizing that this is not a situation that is in your best interest for you to be in any longer. This is not something that, and I'm saying that because I believe at this point you can see more than what you've been seeing. Otherwise, these cards would not be coming out. If you were in this situation and you weren't ready to see this, these cards would not be coming out. It's showing that you're ready to see this, but it can be something that there's something deeply emotionally that is not, it does not come from a place of love and your heart being open. It may disguise itself as that, but it's actually something else here. With the devil, it is connected with an attachment to even the idea of something, but not the reality, because we have that Four of Cups there. This is not a reality actually that you enjoy, but it can be the one that you impose upon it, that you feel attached to. And so seeing that lens over top of what's really going on here. This can be a time when you see through this. And I feel like this can be many different flavors of relationships. It's going to be something where when you check in, when there's that connecting that's happening, this is the way that you're feeling. This even feels like, for an example, this feels like being around somebody and like basically the whole time being like, I'm not having a good time. This isn't really resonating with me. I'm not feeling connected to this. I'm not really feeling like we're understanding one another. It feels like I'm getting confirmation of this. It feels like these types of things. So why are you telling yourself that that's not the case when that's actually what you're feeling? Because I get a sense here that if you were like totally tuned into what you're actually feeling, you would see a very different perspective rather than what you may be like feeding yourself here. Do you think that this is a good investment? And not just in a tangible way, in an emotional way. Do you think that this is where you're at with things? Is this an energetic match for you? Because I feel like when you really check in, that's not the case. But you may not be seeing it like that. But I do feel this difference between what you may want this situation to be versus what it actually is. And as soon as you can reconcile the difference between the two of them, like this is an entire shift for you. And it feels like what you've been avoiding all along, you're finally ready for. Recognizing that this actually is the way when it could have been everything that you were resisting before. Because you could have felt like, if I really allow myself to honor my feelings here, what am I going to be losing? We see that Six of Cups. I'm going to be losing something that I feel I've taken root within. Even though I could be thriving if I allowed myself to move through this. If a situation is truly compatible, you're not going to be feeling like this. I feel like Four of Cups out of all of the cups is the one that feels like least connected to what's going on. And that's what we're staying for. It's like a very anticlimactic energy here. Like keeping something around as if it is like the light and joy of your life, when that's not what the energetic feeling is. And it can be a time where you're rewiring this, where you're recognizing that. I've been telling myself that this is the most important thing to me, that I'm never letting this go. And then you check in with your feelings about it and it's saying something very different. I'm hearing time's up. So that's what I'm seeing be going on here within the energy. All right. We are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.